Hey, it's Thomas here, and today we're going to talk about my 5 favorite plants for low-tech planted tanks. So why are these my 5 favorite plants for a low-tech planted tank? It's quite simple. All 5 of them do really well under a lower light condition with minimal CO2 and minimal fertilization. All right, so we've got the plants right here, and the first one I want to introduce you to, and what I'm going to do is try to introduce you to them from like the foreground plants first all the way to the background, because we kind of have a plant that falls right in the middle of each. So the first one is going to be Java moss, and we actually have that right under here. So Java moss is a fantastic and very easy to use plant, like most moss species. It does well in low-tech planted tanks, grows quite well, and what you can do with Java moss is really cool, because you can plant it right on the substrate if you'd like, and keep it trimmed nice and short and have a carpeting effect. And you can also attach it to just about anything else. So if you wanted to attach it to branches or rock, you can do that as well. When you attach it to branches, you can almost make like tree-like looking plants. They're fake trees though, because they're actually Java moss. But people won't know that. They'll ask you how you got trees so tiny to grow underwater. It'll happen. So the next plant I want to introduce you to, which has always been one of my favorite aquatic plants, period, is ANUBIAS. And ANUBIAS is this little robust plant under here. What makes ANUBIAS really fascinating is that it's an extremely rigid plant. So even out of the water, it perfectly holds its shape. And it's a rhizome plant, which means this portion right here, being its rhizome, you can actually divide that as the plant grows and plant it. The rhizome should never be planted under the substrate. It can only be above it, otherwise it might rot. And ANUBIAS is another one of those plants that you can actually anchor to rocks or wood or anything else, and it'll eventually attach to that wood or rock and grow from there. Makes an excellent foreground plant along with Java moss, and just works its way into the midground, so it's kind of your stepping stone. All right, so this next plant, also fantastic plant, and it's different from the rest in the sense that it's gonna bring a level of texture and color to your planted tank that you won't get out of some of the other plants that are just like a basic green with a flat leaf. So this guy right here is known as a crypt, and there's lots of different varieties of crypt, but I really particularly like this one. Crypts have a habit of having really interesting leaves. They're usually kind of waffled, and you get earthy tones out of them. So you're gonna see more reds and browns and darker greens. So you can bring that to your planted tank, and it'll act as kind of like a focal point compared to the other plants, and it's going to sit somewhere between the midground and the background. Okay, so next up, Java fern. This is a Java fern. It's beautiful, it looks very prehistoric, and like all true ferns, it's got sori on the bottoms of the leaves, and it's a chain plant of sorts, much like ANUBIAS, so you can get that to grow on rock or wood just as easily as you can under the substrate. And for a background plant, I like it a little bit more than some other options, in the sense that they grow a lot more bushy, so they fill space a lot better than some of the other plants, and they aren't incredibly tall. So if you wanted to get another plant behind them, you definitely could, and that plant I'm gonna show you next. All right, so my last favorite plant for low-tech planted tanks is jungle val. It's this guy right here. They're pretty much exactly what you'd expect if somebody said, you know, seaweed or lake plant. They're a long, wispy-looking plant. They grow straight up towards the surface, which makes them great for the background because they'll cover the entire height of the aquarium. And they get very, very, very tall. Now, the thing is, once they get up to the surface, they won't grow out. They'll actually just lay across the top like this plant here is doing. If you don't like that look, it's not a big deal because they're very easy to cut back. You're not going to hurt the plant just by taking some of it off at the tip. And jungle val, because it looks so different than the other plants, pairs really well with them when you're putting together a planted tank and you want it to look nice and even and well balanced. Okay, so those are my top 5 aquarium plants for low-tech planted tanks. If you guys have any questions or comments about them, or even want to tell me about what plants you prefer for low-tech planted tanks, or maybe you want to send me a picture of your planted tank because I'd love to see it, you can do that in the comment section down below, or you can reach out to us on social media like Facebook or Twitter. And also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We have tons of videos there, tons, and we've got new ones coming out every week. And as always, you should keep on tanking with plants, if possible, with plants. So what is a low-tech plant tank? Not this. This is very high tech. Well, those are my favorite plants for low-tech planted aquarium plants. Now I'm going to swim in this tank.